Hello and welcome back to Tech. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make an RGB LED Neopixel crystal wand that uses a push button to change it to different color modes. You can also push the button to do what I call rainbow mode, where it changes into multicolors. And this is all controlled by using an Arduino Nano. Let's get started. And these are the items you're going to need to make for this project. The items you're going to need: a 9-volt battery clip, a 9-volt battery, a little crystal that came from a drawer knob, an Arduino Nano to control the entire circuit, a push button switch to change it to different color modes, and one Neopixel, which is a WS2812B, and this very interesting wooden vine that I found that has a very interesting twist to it. It reminds me of a magical wand, which is perfect for this project. And you're also going to need some wires, a 300 ohm resistor, a push button lock switch, and this piece of leather. Now let's go ahead and assemble this project and let's get started. First, what I need to do is take a drill and drill out the hole that's on the bottom of this knob. And I want to make the hole a little bit bigger and go all the way through, so that way the LED light can shine through. However, this method isn't very safe or very effective. The drill just locks into place and it just chips away and also sticks into place. And as you can see, I broke off the piece. Oh, how interesting. This crystal seems like it comes from a chandelier. It looks like they repurposed these to be able to use them as knobs. How you can tell is because there's this little hole that goes all the way through. You can slip a wire through and hang it on a chandelier. Also, I'm sure this is used for the glue to stick into place to allow it to stick to the knob better. I digress, so what I'm going to do is take this piece and put it into a vise. Lock it into place might be safer. And as you can see, it still doesn't work. The drill keeps locking and sticking in place. So what I'm going to do is use a stepper drill. Gradually making the hole bigger and bigger should be more effective. And as you can see, this is working a lot better. Carefully drill all the way through. And as you can see, the hole is a little bit too big. But I don't think it's too big for the Neopixel, so I think it's going to be okay. Next, I need to solder these wires to the Neopixel. And looking at the arrow, the current flows in this direction, so the side on the right is where you need to solder the wires to. First, I'm going to take the green wire, which represents 5 volts, solder it into place. Yellow wire, which represents data, solder it into place. Blue wire, which is ground, solder it into place. And there we go, Neopixel is now soldered into place. Next, take some hot glue and put it on the exposed leads to prevent any kind of short circuiting when I take the knob and put it onto it. There we go, the hot glue insulates everything. And as you can see, the hot glue is now solidified and everything is now insulated. Next, I twisted the wire to make it more tidy so it's a single strand, so that way I can wrap it around the stick better. Next, I'm going to take the push button lock switch and the Arduino Nano, and I want to connect one pin over to VIN, which is voltage input. And I want to take the other lead of the push button lock switch and put it into that little screw hole. Solder one pin into the voltage input, and then solder tin the other pin. There we go, solder tinned. Next, take the 9-volt battery clip, and I want to take the negative of the 9-volt battery clip and connect that to ground, which is right next to the push button lock switch. Clamp it down, solder it into place, and I'll take the positive wire from the 9-volt battery clip and solder it to the second pin of the push button lock switch. Cut off the excess, and there, it should look just like this. Next, connect the 9-volt battery to the circuit, push the button to make sure it works. And as you can see, the LED turns on, so that means it works. Next, I'm going to take the 300 ohm resistor and then place it into data 9. Bend over the lead so it stays in place. Solder it into place. Cut off the excess. Shorten the lead of the resistor. And now take the data wire and solder it to the resistor. Take the shrink tubing and cover the exposed lead. And now shrink the tube. Pinch it to make sure it's shrunk properly. Next, take the 5-volt and ground wire. Take the 5-volt wire and place it into 5 volts. solder it into place. And now take the ground wire and solder it to ground. And now take the push button switch, which I've already soldered wires to. Take one of the wires on the push button switch and put it into data 2 and the other wire over to ground. Solder it into place. Take the ground, solder it into place. Cut off the excess. And there, the circuit is now complete. Let's go ahead and test it out. Take the 9-volt battery, connect it. Turn on the circuit with the push button lock switch. Turns on. And now take the push button switch and turn on the LED. The first mode is red. And now push it again, goes green. Push it again, goes blue. Push it again, it goes white. Couple pushes, goes into rainbow mode. Wait for the cycle to clear, and then push the button, and it goes into rainbow flicker mode. I sped up this clip because this cycle takes too long. Now it's complete, and now I can go ahead and push the button again, and it goes into flicker rainbow mode. And now the circuit is now complete and ready to go. And now it's time to go ahead and assemble the rest of the parts together. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this knob and the Neopixel. Take this bottom part of the knob, cover the Neopixel, and as you can see that this knob is made of brass. This is why I insulated the Neopixel. And now take the brass knob and place it over the Neopixel with the hole open over the Neopixel. Fill it up with hot glue, so that way it glues into place. Put a generous amount so that way the LED light can disperse through the glue. And put extra glue so that way I can take the crystal ball and place it on top of the brass knob. Doing this will glue everything into place, including the crystal. Hold it into place and wait for it to solidify. And there, it is now ready to go. Now let's go ahead and make another test and see how this looks. Turn on the circuit, push the button, and there, as you can see, it works. This actually looks very interesting and very cool looking. Next, I'm going to take some hot glue and put some hot glue onto the end of the stick. And now take the Neopixel crystal knob and glue it into place. And now I'm going to take some extra glue and put it on the inside of the stick and then take the wire and glue it into place. Doing this will hold the wire flush to the stick, and it makes things look more organized. Go around the stick and glue the wire down. And there, it should look just like this. Next, I'm going to take some electrical tape to tape down the wire and the Arduino Nano to the stick. And carefully try not to cover the USB port of the Arduino Nano in case I want to reprogram it. And now continue taking the electrical tape and wrap down the 9-volt battery. And now take the push button switch and put it into a comfortable position so that way I can push a button more comfortably. Take some more electrical tape to tape it down and then tape down the wire. And now it's time to test it out. Push the button. And as you can see, it works. Although I don't really like on the edge of the stick the glue is glowing, so what I need to do is fix that. So what I'm going to use is some electrical tape to cover up the glowing part of the glue, and the wrapping of this leather will make the project look nicer. And there, as you can see, this looks a lot better. And these are the 2 leather strips that I'm going to use. I don't really like the color, so to fix that, I'm going to take this clay sand. This clay sand will be an excellent pigment to use. Take this eggshell, fill it up with water. Take some of this clay sand and pour it into the water. And now take this paintbrush, mix it around. And now go and paint the leather. And as you can see, this is much better. And now wait for the leather strips to dry. And there, the leather strips are now nice and dry. And as you can see, these look very nice. I absolutely like the color. Next, I'm going to take some hot glue and put it on the end of this wand. And I'll take the leather strip and glue it into place. And I'll wrap it around nice and tight, and I'll take some hot glue to glue the leather strip into place. So that way it doesn't unspool. And there, it is now glued into place. Stays in place nice and strong. And I'll repeat the same process on the handle of the wand. Put a generous amount of hot glue, glue down the leather, wrap it around nice and tight. Put some more hot glue to make sure it stays in place better. Cut the leather a little bit so that way the push button switch can be revealed. Add some hot glue to glue it into place. And there, it should look just like this. Next, I'm going to use this 28 gauge red insulated copper wire. This is the right width and right color, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap it around the entire wand. Starting at the end of the wand where the crystal is. Make sure this part is nice and tight. And now, wrap it around. Put a generous amount on the end, so that way it looks very nice, and then go all the way down the stick, lightly, so it also adds a little accent to it, and wrap a generous amount onto the handle. And there, she'll look just like this, and as you can see, the project is now complete. And now let's go ahead and test it out. I can hold it comfortably like this. I can easily push the on and off switch, and I can comfortably push the other switch that will change to different color modes. And now let's go ahead and test it out. Push the button, and it will turn red. And as you can see, it's very bright. It can actually work like a flashlight if you wanted to. Test out the different modes. From red to now green. And now blue. White. And now a couple pushes, and I'll go into rainbow mode. Do another push, and I'll go into rainbow flicker mode. And as you can see, rainbow flicker mode looks very interesting. Unfortunately, not very well on camera. In person, it looks a lot better. And there you have it. Now you know how to make your very own RGB LED Neopixel crystal wand with using a WS28B Neopixel and an Arduino Nano. Thank you for watching SciTi Tech. I hope you learned something new, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and of course click on the bell icon to be notified of future SciTi Tech videos. Till the next tech, goodbye.